Well, hello everyone. Well, I have no idea how long that video will be, because I don't have a script. I don't really like working with them. Anyway, well, like you've seen from the title, this video will be kind of me yapping, explaining about the game I'm making, just as a, I guess, developer's diary or something like that. Well, you can also kind of say the same for my streams, because they also work like a developer's diary, but a bit bigger and more inconsistent. Anyway, I don't have a script, nor do I have the stuff I'll be talking about on screen right now, but hopefully future editing me will be putting them somewhere here. If you don't see them, it'll be weird why you see the video. Anyway, well, basically the game, I'll also be putting explanation on stuff I don't explain in the video because I'm stupid. But yeah, the game is a TTRPG. I love TTRPGs, and I didn't find what I was looking for in the ones I've looked into. Mainly, I've not tried Call of Cthulhu. I would love to, but I've watched enough of it to know the basic rules of it and how it functions. I've not played nor seen Pathfinder. I would love to, though. I've heard really good things about it. I've played quite a lot of D&D. I've DM'd quite a lot. D&D, 5e, I should clarify. But the game I'm making is kind of, it's not kind of, it is a TTRPG. It's a weird combination of a lot of different stuff from them, which I found good. But I guess I should explain the premise, which we might get off topic because of that. Anyway, the game is, well, like I said for like the 50th time now, TTRPG. It's cultivation. You're not growing cucumbers there. It's more of the sincere cultivation type, the Chinese cultivation, where you cultivate yourself. That's why it's called cultivation. Duh. What was it? Yes. Well, it's basically sci-fi, but cultivation, because I love putting science in stuff. So I'm kind of trying to make, it's a passion project, but still, I'm trying to make a TTRPG where everyone can do pretty much whatever they want, and it's supported by the rules, which is something I didn't really find in D&D. You can't really make your own spell. Obviously, you can homebrew it, obviously, but you can't really make your own spell in the confines of the rules, if that makes sense, at least from as far as I've seen. You can't really make in-world spell, if that makes sense. I, for example, would like to make a magic missile, but it's fire missiles. They don't hit always, but it's missiles made of fire kind of stuff, for example. But you can't really do that, which makes me sad. I had a lot of fun ideas. Anyway, another thing is I love the pacing of the indie stories and campaigns. Most of them are your adventure. The plot follows you, not really you follow the plot. Obviously, that's made so the player can feel special and so they can have fun. But obviously, sorry, you can make D&D campaigns that are more or less more about the world than the players, but most of D&D and how it feels, at least for me, it's about characters, not really world or world exploration. I mean, it's like 50-50 in D&D, or I guess 70-30, where in Call of Cthulhu is literally about the characters and them dying most of the time, and then them finding out in that, I guess I need to go a little bit backwards. If D&D's world is, a world, and you explore portions of it, mostly like 4 cities and then 6 different regions for, well, a session or two, so you can find clues or stop the project that the BBG is working on. And that's why I'm like, kind of, the D&D adventures and stories mostly follow characters instead of you exploring the world, which makes sense, how the game is. Where Call of Cthulhu is, you're focusing on a country, for example, let's say the UK, then you're focusing on a region, let's say London, like the region of London, then you focus on London, and then a specific part of London where your investigation is taking place. You don't really go out of that unless your investigators survive, and then you go to another city or a region or a village, whatever. But you, again, follow mainly the characters instead of really exploring the world, which makes sense, and I love it for that, because that's the theme of Call of Cthulhu. What I'm trying to do, and kind of fitting with the theme of the cultivation stories, again, I will probably put some, if I don't forget, I'll put some recommendations of Cynthia or Wuxia. Sorry for if I butcher the pronunciation of those words. Recommendation for manhwas or light novels or novels somewhere around me. Feel free to check them; they're really fun. And, we're gonna talk about that later. Let's not get off topic that fast, because we're already 7 minutes in. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is mainly focusing on the adventure, not really on the other BBGs destroying the world or destroying the kingdom. We should stop them, and that's the entire adventure, which is kind of D&D adventures. You have either mind flayers or weird evil or liches, which you're trying to stop, and you're going from a city to city, from region to region, and where the main goal of the story is stopping the evil dude from destroying his evil world. What I'm trying to do, I have no idea if I will succeed in it, but at least the idea, is making the world the main character, kind of. The way the adventures and the story, because obviously we need a story, the campaign, I guess, will be presented is extremes amount of freedom in exploring the different sects, the different regions of the planets of its sci-fi, which that's why I chose to do Cynthia instead of Wuxia, because we have already Wuxia cultivation type TTRPGs. From what I've seen, they look really fun. I would love to try them. Not a lot of Cynthia, which is more of Western type of fantasy, more of there is a planet, doof, the planet is gone type of power scaling at the end levels of it, which would be funny. But getting off topic, where the main point, I guess you could say, the main point of the game will be exploring the world, finding I'm shedding my hair, don't worry. Finding different artifacts, different treasures, different opportunities to expand your cultivation. Where I'm not entirely sure if we've had that many games. Well, if a campaign is running for like 10 years, obviously it would be more like you exploring the world more, but in D&D, I'm specifically speaking about D&D, because D&D is the game I have the most experience in, like playing, not only watching. But it's still mainly focused on short adventures. You go there. Oh, my brain farted. You mainly focusing on, well, not really short, but mainly one adventure, which is you stopping an evil dude from doing something evil, most of the times. Where what my plan is more or less chapter 4 of the first part of the campaign. Go and explore, do whatever you want. You have a main goal, which, spoilers for the game or the lore, which is gonna be unlock the planet. Well, unlock the planet is kind of sealed. We're gonna reach that and mention that in future videos if I talk about the lore and the campaign and stuff like that. But that's your main goal. You don't have really a time limit. You just need to unlock it. And how long that will take is, well, however long you want that to take. The main purpose is to explore the world. And the world, at least how I wanted to make it feel, is you do something and then the world strikes back. For example, I shot a giant fireball that destroyed the mountain there. Now that village is gone. I had a funny NPC there. Like, kind of that type of sci-fi. The world, you strike the world strikes back in a natural way, not a supernatural way. But that's the main point of the game. I want a lot of freedom for the player characters and not that much restrictions in, you have a time limit, so you can't really spend 50 years in that village doing something, which I guess may be weird for some people, but I think it will be fun. At least that's what I'm trying to do. And again, it will be a bit weird combination of D&D and Call of Cthulhu in the stats wise, kind of. They're gonna be like the extreme better version of a character sheet, which is basically a placeholder for where I want stuff to be. It'll be probably somewhere here. You can see it has some kind of shape. You have key on the right side, you have your health in the middle, literally almost in the middle of everything. Then you have armor toughness, which you don't really have armor class. You have armor toughness, which kind of negates damage and do special stuff if it's an artifact type of armor. We're gonna reach that in a future video. This is just an overview, I guess. And then under that, you have somewhere, if you can see my hand, somewhere on that side, you have the main stats, which are currently 8-ish, which obviously they might change. They probably will change names, but those are the placeholders' names. And after them, kind of in a row, you have a straight line after them. You have the stats, the skills that correspond with the main stat. For example, in physique, you have endurance and stuff. You can see them on the character sheet. Then you have on the top right of the character sheet, you have obviously DAOs, because you don't really have a class in the game. You're gonna have a DAO, which is, as far as I'm remembering, way. It translates to way, like a way of you doing something, or literally translates to way, which in that case is the way you follow, the path you follow. For example, I like physics. My DAO will be physics, or cosmic DAO. I'll be fighting using cosmic stuff. Again, more on that in future videos, explaining more how stuff will function in the world. Where that is kind of your class and subclass, which obviously you're not gonna have only one. You're gonna have one main, probably, at least how I'm planning it for now, and then you're gonna have multiples after that. For example, you can have Fire DAO as your main, as your main DAO, which will be your offense, and then for example, let's say you wanna be an artifact refiner, which is kind of a blacksmith for artifacts. And then that can be your secondary DAO. Then you have a third one, which is not multi-classing. You just do them because that's what you like as a character. And then they kind of, you can make them synergize together. You can make them, oh yeah, I'm an artifact refiner, but I'm also pyromaniac, so I like lighting stuff on fire, but I also like planting trees, so that would be your 3 main DAOs. Then you have name. You can You can probably not see my hand, but it should be somewhere there. You can see name, which is obviously the name of your character. Then under that you have a title, which kind of lore related. Makes sense. At the beginning you're not gonna have that. It will add stuff to your character. Again, more on that when we reach that. Then you have underneath that, you have health, obviously what that is. Then you have key, which is, imagine it like mana. Again, more on that when we reach explaining how the world functions. Imagine key as your mana, but it's more integrated with everything. On the top, something I missed is race. You can be a human, a demon, which again, more on that in the future. You can be a kind of a dragonkin, which is not dragonborn. It's a little bit different thing. Again, more on that in the future. But that's the main stuff on the first page. Obviously, you have the portrait on the left where you can draw your character or slap a picture. That should be about it, if I'm not missing anything. On the bottom pages, which I don't really have yet, is gonna be where most of your, like, if you play D&D, your features, your class-related stuff, your bonuses, etc., like related to your DAO, to your race, to your background, etc., to your title and stuff like that. Then you're gonna have different item-related effects, which there are gonna be a lot of them, so that's why they're there. And on the third page, I'm planning to make it look like skill book from a cultivation manhwa or novel. Again, I'll hopefully will remember to put a picture on that somewhere right here, where you can open it. It's like a notebook. You open it, and then that's your character sheet with a lot of pages, so you can write stuff or develop or draw stuff, whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, on the third page of the main character sheet will be your DAO related stuff, your techniques, skills, bonuses, passive effects, etc., stuff like that. That's kind of the main thing about the character sheet. What I'm missing? Oh yeah, I didn't talk about what cultivation is. Kind of too late in the video, but like big explanation here with a lot of technical stuff. And then I'm gonna now say what it feels to me and what it is actually. Well, cultivation basically is the process, because it's Chinese and it's based on Buddhism and Taoism. It's the process of someone reaching enlightenment, reaching the peak of, well, whatever you want, like martial arts, reaching immortality, being the peak human or whatever. And it's mainly done with cultivation. You cultivate your own body, your own spirit through ki. You gain ki from the world, you expand your soul, which I kind of have soul in my, but soul in my world end game. But my game, again, something I think I didn't mention, it's more sci-fi. Again, it's extremely high fantasy, but it's extremely high fantasy with, because I love putting science in stuff, kind of explain with science stuff why, for example, why ki works in your body. I'm currently explaining that and working on that on my streams when we world build. Ki works because you have a specific organ in your body. That's everyone has, everything has. And it kind of functions like a heart, but for ki. Again, if I finish that before that video is out, there'll probably be a little funny chart somewhere here, kind of visualizing what I'm talking about. Then you have a couple other organs throughout the body that functions with other stuff. For example, cultivation in general functions, I'm pretty sure I explained it, and it should be explained by the time this video is out, or by the time I'm editing it. So hopefully you can see a little funny graph here. If no, bad me, should have worked harder. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Yes. Again, not gonna go really much into details here, maybe in future videos. But I'm trying to explain the world, because it's not only on one planet. The world of the game is, you start on a, basically a sub-dimensional planet, which will be explained lore and game-wise in the future when we reach stuff like that. Then you go to a planet which is kind of sealed. Again, more on that in the future. When you unseal it, you go to the solar system. Then you go to the galaxy of that solar system, and then where you can explore more solar systems, more planets. As the way I'm planning it, the main story of the campaign, you're gonna explore a couple solar systems in that galaxy, like 4 or 5 maybe. But if the players want to, they can explore, let's say, solar system number 430. And then if my players want to do that, I'll be making a planet there. Again, not limited to, I am BBG destroying the world. You don't have time for that. Go and do the main quest kind of stuff. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Again, and then after that, after you explore the galaxy and do lore stuff, which I'm not really sure what they're gonna be yet. I have vague ideas. You're gonna go to the universe level where you're gonna explore 2 or 3 galaxies, like main galaxies where the lore and the story will be. That will be mainly the campaign one. I'm currently expanding a lot, not a lot, but a couple of the galaxies so far to make world building stuff. More on that in the future. But that's the main idea. It's a lot of grand, but I also love physics. I'm extremely bad at it, and I hate math. But I love physics, and I like incorporating physics, biology, chemistry, science in stuff. So that's the idea of that. Again, more on stuff. If I forget them, you should probably be seeing them on the screen. If you're seeing them on the screen, that means I'm bad and I can't structure stuff, but anyway, then I guess that's the main thing about the game. Again, if I'm missing something, you're gonna see future me talking about them. But yeah, that's the thing. If you have any questions or if you're curious about stuff, feel free to ask in the comments. And again, when I finish the skeleton of the game, like, I'm planning to release a demo version of it somewhere on the internet so people can try it. I need testers. Please try it. And tell me if it feels good, if it feels bad. If you're interested, when it's like the demo is released, feel free to try it. I want the feedback. I would love the feedback. But anyway, that's kind of the thing. Again, if you have any questions or if you're curious about something, feel free to ask. And if you have any ideas, feel free to give them. If they're good enough, I might steal them. Obviously, kidding. If I'm using an idea of a chat or something, they're gonna be on the back of the book with the names of people working on the game. If I ever publish it, I would love to. Let's not think that far. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. We're gonna see each other next time, which somewhere in the future, I guess. Until next time, don't forget. Have fun, everyone. Bye!